Welcome to another episode of Live with Sequoyah Fund. I'm Russ Siegel, your host. I'm the executive director of the Sequoyah Fund. And today our special guest is Tara Brown, the interim director of the Western Women's Business Center. And hey, how you doing, Tara?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for having me here today.
Well, I'm glad to have you. We have some exciting things to talk about. You have an upcoming event that we definitely want to dive into because I think every woman-owned business should be represented at that event. It's going to be a little bit different this year. And so we're going to talk about how it's different and why it's probably more accessible this year than ever before. Mm-hmm. But as we get started, Tara, tell us a little bit about yourself and the Western Women's Business Center.
Sure. So again, my name is Tara Brown. I have over 15 years of experience working in community economic development in all different fields. So small business development, affordable housing, what we call financial empowerment. So a lot of different experience that I was happy to bring to the table here in Western North Carolina at the Western Women's Business Center. At Western Women's Business Center, where I'm interim director now, we offer all types of business development services for the 24 counties of Western North Carolina. So we're headquartered in Candler and Buncombe County, but we go all the way up to Boone, west to Cherokee, where Sequoyah Fund is, and south to Rutherford, Pope, all those counties. So we cover a very, very wide region. Russ said, now our services are a little bit more accessible. Normally it can take us up to 3 hours to drive our region to offer workshops and coaching. And now that everything's online, we know some counties, might have a little less access to internet. But so long as you have the internet, you can connect with us. We have at least one training a week on all different topics that are very important for entrepreneurs. So we have trainings on marketing for your business, financial planning, general business planning, operations, legal issues, accounting, any type of issue that you have or anything that you need support with. I bet we have a training for it. And if we don't, you can ask us and we can make one. So you can check out our website. I know Russ is going to put it up in a little bit, but it's www.bcnc.org for what trainings we have available online right now. We also do one-on-one coaching. So if you need even more in-depth help for your business on any of those topics, we are here for you. We have coaches with decades of experience in small business development and expertise in those different issues, marketing, financial planning, operations. We're here for you, definitely. And then the last thing that we offer that I'll say before we get into talking about this year's conference is access to funding. So if you've been impacted by COVID-19 and you're still looking for funds, or you want to know what funds are coming potentially with some new legislation, we are an SBA funded resource partner, a Small Business Administration funded resource partner. So we have access to some of those funds and information on all of those funds and what eligibility there might be, and also for traditional loans too. So we're a program of Carolina Small Business Development Fund, which is a community development financial institution providing business loans across the state of North Carolina. And so we're here for you, whatever financing you might need for your business or recovery funding you might need for your business, depending on where you're at. We're here to talk about what your options are and how you can get money for your business.
So yeah, the Carolina Small Business Development Fund is a bigger sibling to Sequoyah Fund. We have, a 7-county service area, but you guys cover really, in terms of financing, you cover all of North Carolina and I think parts of Virginia, and is it parts of South Carolina as well?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So yeah, you have a larger footprint, which means you have some more resources than we have. It's a little bit larger staff than the 5 we have at Sequoyah Fund. But I appreciate what you're saying, and it's a little easier to get to people now that everything is virtual, because boy, I know how spread out our 7-county service area is. And, people who don't know Western North Carolina, they look at a map and they go, oh, that's not a big area. And they don't realize just how dark and snaky some of these roads can be. And when you've got 24 counties, that is a lot of territory to cover. Now, Tara, I wanted to ask you, because I get this question frequently, and we make referrals to your organization, and we've partnered with your organization on a lot of things over the years. And the question I get sometimes is, well, why a women's business center? Isn't running a business the same for men as it is for women? Why is it important that we have a women's business center here that represents our Western North Carolina area?
Thank you so much for that question. And it is really important to have services that are specifically for women. So we're actually one of 150 women's business centers supported by the SBA, the Small Business Administration, across the country. And the reason why that's a national initiative is because there's something called an entrepreneurship gap. So sometimes we hear about the women's pay gap. Women earn 76 cents on the dollar for every dollar a man makes. But there's also an entrepreneurship gap that women are starting and running businesses at lower rates than their male counterparts. And there's a lot of reasons for that. Sometimes getting access to financing can be more challenging. Sometimes just having the connection to the networks that, traditionally have been male dominated, but are now, definitely becoming more diverse in terms of gender and everything else. It's still, it's 2020, but we're still in a place where women do need additional support and access to those types of networking, training, funding opportunities in order to start businesses and grow businesses and sustain businesses at the same rate as men. So it is really important. And, women and men are different. And we offer services at Western Women's Business Center to meet people where they're at. And we don't discriminate. If you're a man, you're totally welcome to come in for our coaching and training. But we do really meet people where they are. And so sometimes women can need more support and encouragement to know that their idea is valid. That's what we're really trying to offer at our conference, which I can talk about in a minute. But it really is important that we offer these services specifically for women in the way that women do business and understanding where women are coming from.
Yeah, I think that's important. In my over 20 years of experience in helping people start businesses, I've found that yes, more men start businesses than women. But I've got to tell you, the women-owned businesses tend to be more robust. They stay around longer, and I don't know if that's just a difference in how men and women view risk and how they deal with risk and mitigate risk. But the women-owned businesses do tend to be, I hesitate to say this, but more thoughtful. They tend to put more thought and more planning into the longevity of the business rather than the thrill of the risk. And I think there's a healthy balance between being energized by the risk and also understanding that you're building something long term. And so yeah, I totally see that there is a difference. Which brings us to the conference, because this is going to be the 6th year you've put on the Western Women's Business Center Conference. And this event has grown every year. It's been amazing to watch. I know that we've had staff members attend this. We've sponsored it for a few years. It's an exciting event. So tell us a little bit about the evolution of this event and where we are today with it.
Sure. Thank you so much. So like everything in 2020, our conference is going to be a little bit different this year. So we started when the Western Women's Business Center started in 2014. The very next year, we launched our conference, Western Women's Business Center Conference, headquartered here in Buncombe County, taking place here in Buncombe County, but accessible and reaching out to women across our service area in Western North Carolina. And we thought it was important to hold this conference to provide that opportunity to connect where there isn't as many networking opportunities for women, or the networking opportunities that are available might have more men, and just creating space for women to connect, to feel empowered. And it's been a really beautiful conference that's grown over the years. We had over 300 attendees last year. I think because we have made it exciting and engaging and inspiring. So, when you come to our conference, even online this year, there will be singing, there will be dancing, there will be creative engagements, and it's not just a snoozy business conference on, how to increase your revenue, how to sustain during these challenging times. So we do talk about that and, have serious consultants with expertise in all of that. Of course, it's also a time to connect and engage and have fun and learn and support one another. So yes, from the first conference where we probably had, I think, a little over 100, we've now grown to over 300. And of course, this year we're hosting it online, which is a little bit different. We can get into the details of that. But like Russ said, it does make it more accessible so long as you have internet access. And we're bringing that same theme and spirit of togetherness and celebration to the online version, just like we had in person. So I know at this point, some of us might be getting a little tired of logging onto those Zoom webinars and all of that, but we're really working to make this an exciting and engaging event with opportunities to network and connect, even though it's online and we're remote from each other.
So Zoom fatigue is real. I think we can all acknowledge that. But, this conference is late enough in the year that I'm guessing you've learned some things from some other conferences to make this more than just another Zoom get together, right? So how's that going to look?
Absolutely. So we are using an app called Whova, which is a leading online conferencing app that allows us to do a few different things other than just have my face on the screen like you see it today and, the opportunity to ask questions and that kind of thing. We also have an exhibitor space. So just like you would come in person into a conference and you would see all of the exhibitors that are there. That includes small business, that includes our speakers will have exhibitor booths, and some of our service providers here in Western North Carolina also. Hopefully the Sequoyah Fund will get their exhibitor booth set up. So you can move through this virtual space and see what services are offered. As part of that exhibitor space, we have an exciting gift program where everyone who comes to our conference is eligible for a free gift. And it's coming from one of those local small businesses or one of those local service providers. And it's something that is a way to offer that exchange in a way that we haven't done in person. So if you come, you will be able to receive a gift from a local small business that they've put out there that's something they want to offer at the conference and connect in a way that we haven't really connected before. And so some of those gifts include our keynote speaker, Jacqueline Mims, who I'll talk about in a little bit, is offering a book and a recording. She was a member of the Hidden Figures team at NASA. She's an amazing woman. Our other keynote speaker, Tracy Green Washington, just released a book on finding purposeful alignment in your life that is already really successful. It's an Amazon bestseller in a few different categories. She is an incredible, inspirational woman. She's offering her book as a gift. We also have a yoga studio in Waynesville offering free online yoga passes for a month. We have some of our food and beverage businesses offering food and beverage. So it's just an exciting way to actually create a marketplace and a way to exchange with each other that we haven't had in the past. And so it's sort of trying to recreate, learning about your business and, just connecting with other businesses locally. So that marketplace is really, really exciting, in addition to the regular Zoom platform that we would use.
Well, as someone who has used the Whova app as a conference attendee and as a presenter and as an exhibitor, I can tell you that this is going to be quite an experience. So folks, if you're thinking that you've attended some live events online and it's just been another humdrum Zoom meeting or whatever, this is not it. I mean, this is going to feel very much like a live event without the shoulder to shoulder crowd that you sometimes get at these events. And I think you're in for a treat. The Whova app is going to make it feel very personal. You're going to get to connect with people on a very personal level that you don't get to do through Zoom breakouts and things like that. So I'm really happy to hear you say that you're using Whova. That's one of my favorite conference apps, and we've used it a lot, but they do a fantastic job. So yeah, I do want to put up here the dates of the event. The cost is reasonable. I know that in the past, people, especially out here in our service area, out in these far-flung 7 counties, and maybe even up to Boone, where you were talking about, it's hard to justify getting away to Asheville for a day, but it's not as difficult to justify logging on, joining this amazing conference, hearing these great speakers, and being a part of this from the comfort of your own home. You really get the best of both worlds when you do this. And Tara, I wanted to get back because you said that you were going to talk a little bit about one of your keynote speakers who was with NASA. And so Jacqueline Mims is going to be there, an amazing woman who's going to be, again, giving away a book. Tell us a little bit more about her.
Yes, we are so excited to have Jacqueline Mims. So she's actually from the eastern part of the state. She's the only person that we're bringing in from another region, but we wanted to bring her in because her message is so inspirational, especially for this year's theme, which is Women at the Table Now. So we're going to have, including Jacqueline, over 40 speakers, panelists, presenters, share how they got their seat at the table, how they got to that leadership position, how they started their own business, how they've grown their own business, how they've really fulfilled the vision that they wanted for themselves. And Jacqueline Mims is just that in a nutshell. She is so amazing. So she was a member of NASA's Hidden Figures team. So if you've seen the Hidden Figures movie, she wasn't in it. There was lots of women like that who were the first Black women to be rocket scientists, I guess I'll say. She has the particular distinction of being the first African-American civil servant to be a ground controller for an unmanned spacecraft. So I don't even know what all of that means, but she is a literal rocket scientist, and her story is so inspiring of how she got to that place where it was a table that people like her had not been welcome at before. So how she got to that, she was actually diagnosed with a learning disability as a child, which was obviously not accurate because she's brilliant. So she, talks about how she overcame that and just overcame all of these adverse circumstances to get to where she was. And that's what the whole conference is about, is that, despite, what Russ was saying earlier about, the ways that women do business differently, that's actually can be more effective for a business, there's still a lot of challenges that women face in being in business. And so this is just a really great way to be inspired by women who have already gotten there, who are here to reach back and pull you ahead with them. If you're not yet, in that place where you've been able to start and grow your own business, or even if you have, it's still just a really great opportunity to be inspired and connect with hundreds of women entrepreneurs across our region.
So how many are you expecting this year? How many do you think you'll have in the virtual conference?
That's a great question. And I think it's a little bit of an unknown because it's just unknown in this virtual space. We hope that we can meet the 300 that we had last year. And, promotions like this really help just to continue to get the word out. So we really appreciate the opportunity. And so I do hope that we can meet that 300. It might be a little less, knowing that we can't offer food and we can't offer, the in-person experience. But like we've been saying, I do really believe it's a great event and a great way to connect even online.
Well, I'm going to encourage all of our viewers to attend this conference. I really think this is a no excuses opportunity. You're not going to have to get in your car and drive to Asheville to experience these speakers, the expertise, and the excitement that's going to come through this virtual platform. And yes, I did make a note to finish building out our virtual booth. We're going to be there. Sometimes it takes me a little while, but we'll get there. I was a little late to the party on another conference a couple of weeks ago, but we got the booth built, and yeah, and we had a great time. It's amazing that people can, quote unquote, wander by this booth and then have a conversation with us about things that we can talk about in private, and you can ask questions that you don't have to worry about bystanders listening in on. So it's an amazing platform. And Tara, you and your team have just done an amazing job. I know that you've got some great people working on this. If you want to give them a shout out, this would be the time to do that, because I know a lot of the folks who are integral to making this conference a success. Anybody you want to give a shout out to?
Yes. Oh my gosh. There's so many people we have on our team to make this happen. So first of all, we have an incredible conference planning committee. So we're partnering with the AB Tech Small Business Center, with the SBTDC headquartered out in Cullowhee, the Small Business Administration. And so we have so many people who are giving their input and have the expertise to make sure that this conference is great. Most of all, our marketing and event consultant, Joanna Haggerty from JPH Creative, is just leading this initiative. I could not do it. We've never, designed a virtual conference before. So she is making sure that, all the details work, and also that it's an engaging and inspiring event. And then, of course, we have Laura Ford, who is our client intake specialist. So I mentioned before that, we offer training events at least one a week on all different topics, and also one-on-one coaching. So if you go to our website and are interested in one-on-one coaching, Laura is the one that you will engage with. So she's really important. And I also want to give a shout out to our founding director, Sharon Oxendine, who's the person who started this entire conference and grew it to where it is. Sharon went on to start her own business, which is great for her, in July. And so now, we're continuing her legacy of running this conference. But Sharon really was the one who had the vision for this conference and made it happen and grew it to what it is today. And
I think the word dynamo is often misused, but you have a couple of dynamos. You have several dynamos working on this conference. I know I've known Sharon for a number of years. Definitely a perpetual motion machine. And Jill Sparks over at AB Tech Small Business Center, mm-hmm. Another proud Appalachian grad, I might say. Mm-hmm. Known her for a long time, and she is just full of energy. And I know AB Tech has been a great site for this program before. You guys have had some wonderful partnerships. So I just want to put the information up here again, because again, folks, if you're watching this and you're not going to have to get in your car and go to Asheville this time, if you're down in Murphy, if you're in Robbinsville, if you're in Hayesville, if you're in Franklin, this is the time to get involved in this. You're going to have a great experience. Go to the conference website there, www.bcnc.org/conference. Register today. You're going to get a gift. You're going to hear some amazing speakers, and you're going to be part of something that's bigger this year than it's ever been. And you're going to get excited to attend the 7th annual event next year. I promise. So anything that we've missed, anything that we need to make sure gets said before we wrap up?
I will just add to what you said about the accessibility. The price this year is also much lower, because normally we're offering breakfast and lunch and, the event space and all of that. So the price is definitely more accessible this year than it has been in the past. And, with the challenges people are facing, we also wanted to keep the price very low this year.
Well, we're excited about this conference. I know you guys are excited about it. I know there's going to be a sense of relief when it's over. You're going to say, all right, but you're going to be able to give yourselves a pat on the back, because I guarantee this is going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be informative, mm-hmm. all the above. So folks, go ahead and register for this today. If you are watching this now and you know a woman, maybe you know another woman, share this video, like this video, comment on this video, share this with your friends. Just because it's live doesn't mean they can't watch it later. So they can watch this. Let them get excited about this too. Bring your friends, get involved with this conference, and we hope to see you there. Tara, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you coming on the show today and telling us about this 6th annual conference. And tell all the folks for us that we appreciate what you're doing. Everybody who's working on this with you, we know that people in Cherokee and the surrounding area where we work benefit from this.
Mm-hmm.
And we're so thankful that you do this for Western North Carolina.
Thank you so much, Russ. And I will just say thank you so much for your partnership. And we're also going to have Hope Husky from the Sequoyah Fund on one of our panels. I'm very excited about that, talking about the resources that you guys have to offer. And also to all of our sponsors. Fifth Third Bank is our premier sponsor this year, Mosaic Realty, and dozens of others. So they're also the ones that make this conference happen. And you're an important part of that. So thank you so much.
Well, we know Hope does a great job. She'll do a great job with the breakout session. And we just look forward to a continued success with this conference.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you, folks. Thank you for joining us today on Live with Sequoyah Fund. We will look forward to seeing you at the Western Women's Business Center Conference. And I'll see you next time on Live with Sequoyah Fund.